The total collapse of ComicsGate is something to behold, and there's really one reason for it, which we'll get into in just a moment. Though, well, I guess there's multiple reasons for it. All right, I'll go into all the reasons that it's going on. But ComicsGate started in 2018 as a movement because your boy Zach, who's now just Comics Matter, who used to be Diversity in Comics, was getting hated out of conventions. And it started when Mark Waid asked at Baltimore Con to bring him to me, like he was like some sort of like mob boss. Who's going to force your boy Zach to get down on a knee and kiss the ring or something like that. And then it escalated at New York Comic Con, where a bunch of professionals in a Facebook group got together and started threatening to try to goad your boy Zach into triggering his PTSD as a veteran. They said, very weird, and then get him to throw a punch so that he'd get banned from the convention forever. That was what happened. So I exposed that. I showed those screenshots. I had a mole in the group who got those screenshots for me, and then I put those out there and made a video about it, which was then picked up by PJ Media to put that out there, and PJ Media spread that out, went pretty viral, and we used the hashtag ComicsGate to promote that, and that's when it went viral, and that's when ComicsGate got big as a hashtag. Sorry about that, my bad. So I don't say this to brag. I say this as a apology. I'm going to be apologizing for that for the rest of my life. Now, of course, the rest is history. John Malin decided to jump on and grift on it as he was getting ushered out of Marvel Comics because of his poor art. Ethan Van Sciver then joined in and grift on it because he was getting ushered out of DC Comics because he just never turned in work on time. And then they pretended that they were part of this political movement, even though they're Obama voters, right? They then brought in some other friends from DC Comics and eventually flooded it when it was originally a fan movement. And then, of course, a bunch of indie creators like myself and Doug Ernst and Tim Lim, and then, of course, Englentine from I Love Comics. There was Unranked Chevron, Weaponized Nerd Rage, a bunch of people in there. Captain Frugal, you guys remember him? Oh, my gosh. Is he still around? And then, of course, it got replaced by these guys who were DC Comics and Marvel Comics pros. And what happens is there's a problem within the comic industry where there's this perception that if you're not Marvel and DC Comics, you're not real. And so they helped perpetuate that within the indie movement, creating this kind of false dichotomy between them and Marvel and DC when it's the same people, right? And they set up this little fiefdom, and the rest is history, where they tried to squeeze everybody out who was not a Marvel and DC person. They started rebranding it as ComicsGate Kings to do that, and you're only a king if you're one of them. And they started just bringing in some of their weirdos into it, just to I don't know what the point is. And they started becoming a anti-Eric July hate outfit over the last year. So that's the main high-level summary of things. And now all they do is attack Eric July, attack Yellow Flash, attack other indie creators to try to keep a ever-dwindling piece of a smaller pie, because they're not growing, because they're not talking about things people care about at this juncture. They're not even promoting or really working on their comics very well at this juncture. So it's three guys, really. It's Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, Shane Davis, and then the rest of the, quote, kings are a bunch of retired artists who are kind of just leeching off those guys' show. And those guys, even though those guys, actually, other than those three, mostly are the talented ones, they're not like YouTube performers or anything like that, so they can't build an audience of their own because, again, once it comes to comics, if you're not at Marvel and DC, they don't care. Even if you were formerly Marvel and DC and you're creating your new work and you say, I was at Marvel and DC, most people don't care. They only follow Spidey-Man for Spidey-Man and Batman for Batman, and Marvel and DC set up this way intentionally. Well, now they only follow Ethan Van Sciver for Ethan Van Sciver, so they're in the same spot, whereas if they go away from that, they're going to lose their entire audience. So they put up with these guys' bad behavior in hopes that they can get some breadcrumbs off the table. But that table is getting legs knocked out of it at alarming rates. So let's get into this in just a moment. There's our preamble. So that's the setup of ComicsGate. You have to explain it for people who aren't here and haven't been here for a long time, but that's where it's at. And Eric July is a creator who's been making his own books regularly, and these guys just hate him for, of course, doing better than they are. That's what it comes down to. And so that's why they're constantly ragging on him. Now, they attack Yellow Flash for the same reason. Yellow Flash's book is doing better than theirs. They attack me for the same reason. I've been outselling almost all of these guys. Actually, I have been outselling every single one of these guys with the amount of books I've sold this year. And I've got a Substack now, guys. So I'm trying to get more people just about reading comics. Because, again, these guys set up the same problems as Marvel and DC, where people didn't care about the comics. They cared about them on YouTube, and that was it. And then on top of that, they cared about, they sell their stuff as like merch. Like, oh, you got a 48-hour limited variant cover that's only here for 2 days. And then they like try to drum up that fear of missing out on that variant cover. That's exactly what the mainstream comic industry does. They have 28 days of J. Scott Campbell coming out next month, which is like a limited variant cover, which comic shops are going to charge extra for above cover price because of that fear of missing out. And nobody's actually going to read those comics. Now, where the healthy community is, what I've found on the web, because I've studied comics history, I've studied everything for years, is webcomics. There's a great community of webcomics going on Webtoon, on Tapas, on Arcaven Comics, and people post their books, people read the books. It's all about reading. So what I did is I started posting my comics for free for you on Substack. That way I can get you reading and caught up on the backstory of my universe as I'm building even more. I've got 13 graphic novels out, 9 in production. I've got short comics in production. We have a lot going on here, and we have a beautiful universe that's a real alternative to Marvel and DC. So if you want to get to reading again, we have some great characters here. Chloe, Metagirl, is a character you can care about. Johnny Benvenuti here is a character you can care about. Metaman is a character you can care about. The Cosmic Warrior, Dynamite Thor, it goes down the line for all this stuff that I've got a whole universe worth exploring, and a lot, and the best is yet to come. So get in now, guys. This is in the description below, and join the Substack. I am putting up more, so like as every issue completes here, I actually do a commentary video that's exclusive that I give out to the paid subscribers here. I also have exclusive comics I'm posting for you guys as well. Extra Sensory pages 5 through 8 are going to be going up in a couple days as well. That spins out of Flying Sparks, and the more people that get on here, the more we're going to do. So we're going to build this out through Substack for readers, and this is the cool community we're building now. Our Discord is over 1,000 strong now. This is building super fast, and thanks for being here. Get in on the description below, and if you want to support my comics, I also have my web store. You can buy the actual physical versions as well. Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's look at this map right here. So Snuggie Jr. requested a comparison between Rippaverse Comics collection campaigns and the ComicsGate crowdfunding totals of the year-to-date in 2025. So that the scale is not completely distorted, I restricted the comparison of ComicsGate to just item number 3. So if you did all of Rippaverse, the ComicsGate wouldn't even show up on the scale. So we just showed one book versus them. ComicsGate crowdfunding campaigns have collected approximately $618,000 through July 2025. ISOM by itself, so one book has done more than all of ComicsGate combined. Okay, so that's absolutely crazy that this is happening right here. And it does not display fees collected for taxes and shipping, whereas ComicsGate does show shipping in their totals and all that on the fees for the sites and all that. So Rippaverse, if you added more to it, item number 3 would have collected $200,000 more than ComicsGate total. Okay, so you look, Ethan Van Sciver's Rainbow the Brute. This is a comic that he's been promising for 3+ years. It's going to be quality, guys. This is a Rainbow Bright knockoff where it's making fun of it, and it's a funny concept. It's a parody book where all boys' properties are being turned into girls' properties. So he decided to turn a girls' property into a boys' property. It's silly. This is not like Alan Moore stuff. So this guy acts like he's got like the craziest stuff. This is a 48-page book. It should have been done years ago. So people are asking for refunds. That's what you get. Urban Sasquatch. I haven't heard of that one. Not very well. Ominous, Avenging Death, same. CG Master Racers. This is Ethan Van Sciver's new box cars. Not doing well. $4,000. Not good. Ethan Van Sciver's Fearsome comic. $4,000. Not very much. Wraith of God. Now, this is sad. Aaron Lopresti is like really talented beyond a lot of these guys. And I've watched his sales collapse because he doesn't have his own audience. And unfortunately, ComicsGate doesn't have a comic book readership audience. That's why we're working hard for comic readers, right? That's so important to develop if we want to have an indie movement that's going to go further. So I've watched his sales collapse, which are really, really sad. Really, really good. Black and White 3. Again, Art T. Bear, another really talented guy who's very sad that's not working very well here. That's a tragic thing. So then you get up to She Gatecrasher Indiegogo. You get Graveyard Shift, and then you go down and you see the further totals where we've got Cyberfrog Red, Matt Martin's Snowman 2, which did a lot less than Snowman 1. We'll look at that in just a second. All Caps and Cyberfrog. Here's that. Inglorious Rex 3, Cyberfrog Dark Harvest, and Atomic. This is Shane Davis's one that is vastly underperforming, and that's where we've got. So if you look at just how far the readership Martin Snowman has fallen, you go to Matt Martin Snowman, the first one here, and it closed out at, holy crap, $150,000 from 2,400 backers in its first run of 72,000. So $158,000. The second one, this is, again, just showing these people don't read comics, right? It was just about that show. Now down to 425 backers. Oh, my gosh. So he's lost more than 75% of his backers. And this guy's a good artist. I mean, I'll give him that. But, again, this guy's not... It's just Ethan Van Sciver promoting it, and that's the whole deal right there, and that's all you get. And so, like, when that's it, nobody cares about the comics in these groups whatsoever. Nobody's interested in comics. And so it's the YouTube merch, and since the YouTube game's dwindling, because it's all just about hating the guy who produces comics, there's no comic readers that are checking this stuff out anymore. It's a really dismal state for a lot of these guys right here. And so, it's a sinking ship. And I talked to, there's a couple ComicsGate Kings who talk to me, and they know what the problem is. They're not willing to come out because they're like, look, it's my retirement. I can't mess with this right now. But it is being messed with. It's being destroyed in real time. And these guys got to start something new and get out before it completely collapses. Otherwise, they're going to be just in the same spot they were before this all happened. And so it's getting very, very close to that point. They're not making money on their books anymore. This is a very ugly thing that's happening. And it's because they don't care about comic books. They don't care about readers. These Ethan Van Sciver books never come out. And it's one campaign to pay for the last campaign. It's been a complete disaster for a long, long time. And this is what happens. When you have an alternative to Marvel and DC and you make it just a bunch of Marvel and DC people, what do you expect? You get the same crazy. So that's why we have to build something new, guys. And so this is Substack. This is where it's at. Get in on this, guys. I know I promoted every single video, and we have 9,000 subscribers now. We just hit that yesterday. Thanks for being here. Get in on the Substack. Build this. Let's build some real comics again, guys. Let's build this out. Tell me what you're interested in comic-wise. I mean, I've got stuff in production. If we get enough people on here, I'll just start, whatever you guys want as the fans, we're going to start doing it. And that's exactly how a comic company should be ran. So this is the real deal. This is what ComicsGate promised. This is what your boy Zach promised. We're doing it. It's about readers first, and that is what's exciting for the future. So as much as there's a black pill in some of this stuff, it's all growing over here, my friends, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you found us. Please hit the like and subscribe button. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the description below. We'll be back soon.